I find cross-stitching a lot more fun than wrapping Christmas presents, but I did manage to get both done and got everything done on time. Hey Flosstube, I'm Michelle. This is my romantic tangle. It is December 26th. I am pretty sure it is Tuesday, and we seem to have just plunged straight back into our regular schedule, so after an unplanned break, I've got an update for you. If you watched my last video, this may surprise you. Remember how I was talking about trying to finish Small Library by the end of the year? There are 6 days left in the year, and look at what I did. I am honestly shocked. Like, almost all of this I stitched in the 2 weeks since my last update. I think I was about halfway across on this arch here. The top, all this filling in, all of the shelves on this side. I love this. I'm gonna buy a frame for this. This just makes my heart sing. I told you last time I was on the fence about whether I should have done the large version or the small version. I'm glad I did the small version. I bought another one of her patterns. This is Small Library by Stitching Jules. I bought another of her patterns during her Black Friday sale, and it's a lot bigger than I realized. It also has a whole lot of unstitched white space, so it's not going to be that bad. I think I'm going to try to do it on 18 count, but I'm not going to do that quite yet. About the time that I was finishing Small Library and I was having so much fun stitching with just one color, I decided maybe it's time to print out Pandemic by Long Dog Samplers and start stitching. If I do that, I need to buy myself a Kona DMC because I used cheap craft store floss for Small Library and I found myself fighting with it. I think that some of that is just that my fine motor skills have been challenged. Some of it is that I was cutting strands longer than I should have. But if I'm going to tackle something massive like Pandemic, it's probably worth it to buy the expensive floss and just splurge. That thing's got to be an heirloom piece, right? Before you start a new project or buy materials for a new project, do you look at what you already have in your stash? I had totally forgotten until I finished Small Library that I've also got the bookshelf. This one is by Galliana Cross Stitch Designs. It could not be more different, so I am not worried about it. I'm going to stitch it eventually, not right now. I can't remember when the sale for this was, forever ago, and I still haven't started mine, and that's okay. Like I said, I was relieved when I pulled it out this morning. First, that it was exactly where I thought it would be. Second, that it is so totally different. I'm not sure if I'm going to start Stitching Jules' Antique Shop first, or Pandemic, or this. Those are down the road somewhere. Those are a problem for, or not a problem, they're an opportunity for a future day. All of my stitching for the past few weeks has been on Small Library. And we're going into the new year. At the beginning of 2023, I gave myself permission to just start anything I wanted to stitch. And I did, and it was fun, and I got some stuff finished, and the finished parade is coming. This year, I kind of want to tackle the whips, but none of my I've done the easy ones. The easy ones got finished this year. The thing, not easy, close to being finished. I thought I was going to pull out Cuckoo Clock and work on it on Sunday. It wasn't where I thought it would be. And I'd also been playing with the idea of stitching something wintry. I thought it was going to be All Is Calm. But then I pulled out Bluebirds. How long ago, or Blue Jays. How long ago was the Blue Jay sale? I did just the background here and a little bit of Birdie's tail and was off doing other things. I started stitching the day before Christmas Eve, and like I said, stitching is more fun than wrapping presents. So I filled in some of his tail, and then I started working my way up here because There's a lot of blended threads. There is a lot of shading. It might be an overstatement to call it confetti because they're not a lot of super isolated stitches. But I am going around the edge of the bird and I'm giving myself landmarks so that then I can go in and fill in the background. And I have not done a project like this probably since August. I am really enjoying it. I am really happy that I am able to focus on and do it. And I think I'm just going to keep stitching on this one for a while. And if Cuckoo Clock materializes, I'll stitch on that for a while. I'm not going to beat myself up about goals right now. I got all the Christmas presents wrapped. There was a failure of planning. My middle son was making croissants from scratch for Christmas dinner, which requires the table, and I was doing the gift wrapping on the table to save my shoulders and back. So we spent the afternoon. He would do his steps of his croissants and I would have 30 minutes to wrap some stuff real quick, then had to hand the table back over to him for the croissants. It was a miracle of scheduling, and I do not share his devotion to his craft, so I wouldn't let him turn off the furnace and open all the windows so the room would be cooler so his butter would set properly, but the croissants were lovely just the same. Not up to his standards, but they were wonderful. And I got kits for Christmas. That's no surprise to anybody. This is Rocky Point, a Dimensions Gold Collection kit that has been on my wish list forever. I love landscapes, I love buildings, I love seascapes. This ticks all my boxes, and I also love pre-sorted floss. This one, I am sure has a name, but it's not here. It's Riolis number 1078. And it is the kind of vintage styled nostalgic landscape that I love. I think in that little glimpse through the corner that it is probably the wool acrylic floss. I will stitch it either way and I will be happy with that. Dimensions Gold Collection's Romantic Floral has been on my wish list forever, specifically for that candelabra. In the online pictures, I hadn't realized the stained glass window. And yes, of course, the violin is like the focus of the image, but it's the candelabra and that pink wallpaper that I'm stitching it for. My husband and I last year went on a weekend getaway, and the cute little motel we stayed in had, think, Hobby Lobby cows on every wall. I really want to go get the cow on the Victorian love seat, but I cannot possibly justify that. I can, however, justify stitching these two to put on our wall. Are they not the cutest thing ever? And then this one, I've got a lot of favorites here, but I love this one. It is Old Photo Rendezvous by Riolis. It is the wool acrylic floss. And I love the couple, and I love the background, and it is 11 by 15, so it is large. And it's lots of very similar shaded flosses, but I'm committed. I'm going to do this. I'm trying to go into 2024 with flexible, realistic plans. Our new normal around here right now requires a lot of logistics and a lot of planning, and it is just kind of ridiculous. I'm at 5 months now without my own car. If we're all going to stay sane, it's going to take a lot of flexibility. One of the things I think I want to start work on right away is I want to go through all of my boxes and bins and chaos, pull together my whole collection of cross stitch kits and see what I have, because I know there are some that have slipped my mind, and maybe I'm going to prioritize what I want to start next, along with which of my whips I want to tackle. As long as I'm stitching or quilting or knitting, it's all good. Do you have big plans for 2024? Let me know in the comment section below. Thanks for watching. I'm Michelle. This is my Romantic Tangle, and I hope to be back with you with more videos very, very soon. That break from uploading was not planned, but it had to be done.